Ari, what happened? The first day of Ohio State preseason practice on Monday, before we see anything, before we talk to anyone, this happened. I don't know what you people can see, but this is not supposed to look like this because you hit something. What happened?
Doug, it's just I came in hot. Came in real hot. It's just trying to, be here on time and get ready for fall camp and ready to go. And now I've got another meaningless expense I've got to add to the never-ending list of meaningless expenses on my life. So get to pop out the bumper, buff it out a little bit. Hopefully it won't be $1,000. Hopefully it'll be $100. One of the other media members was pretty cool. That's the car I hit. But we got the job done, and I just hate my life and want to talk about football right now.
Urban Meyer talked why freshmen Raekwon McMillan and Johnny Dixon got to practice with the veterans on Monday. He said it's because they act like grown men. I don't think he would have said the same about you on Monday. But we did have some position battles to look at Monday, the first day of preseason camp. We got to watch a little bit of practice. We talked to Urban Meyer afterward, and the one spot that he emphasized repeatedly was left guard. We knew the offensive line, that was going to be, obviously, you're replacing 4 starters. You're going to have issues there, but he really singled out that one spot. What do you see there? Why do you think he singled that one spot out?
Well, I think, I don't know how you want to take this, but instead of him saying Monday, offensive line, he said left guard, left guard, left guard. So we knew that this was going to be an ongoing discussion, how they replaced 4 starters from last year's offensive line, 4 senior starters. Narrowing it down to the left guard position, it's going to be an ongoing position battle. What we saw on Monday was Antonio Underwood and Joel Hale taking reps there at the left guard position, in the limited time we got to watch. And Chase Ferris is over at right tackle, but he's also going to figure into that competition. So what's interesting to me is that they've got a lot of moving parts on the offensive line, people who have experience at multiple positions that are going to try to find a home this year. There's a lot of places where people can make differences, but that left guard position is going to be a huge step in Ohio State trying to solidify a unit that they can feel comfortable with, because he always talks about the unit and playing together. So I think it'll be interesting to see how things progress over the course of the next few weeks, and then maybe settle down a little bit going into that last 2 weeks or final week heading into game week.
It does seem like I think they have multiple options at center with Chad Lindsey, the 5th-year transfer from Alabama, Jacoby Boren, and Billy Price. And then it seems like they think Darryl Baldwin's going to be the right tackle. And then they said before that Pat Elflein and Taylor Decker are guaranteed starters. So you can sort of see maybe where he's coming from with this left guard thing. But that's not the only spot that they're thinking about. At safety, they might have too many options. We saw Tyvis Powell and Cam Burrows running with the first-team defense on Monday, which means Von Bell was not running with the first-team defense. Now, he hurt his knee the first day of practice in the spring, had surgery, missed all of spring practice, but Von Bell's a guy that people wanted to see more of last year as a true freshman. I think a lot of people thought he's going to start this year. Urban Meyer says that's a 3-man battle for those 2 spots, and then in the past we've seen those extra safeties play the nickel spot sometimes. Urban Meyer said, no, it's probably going to be cornerback Armani Reeves at the nickel spot. So basically, we're talking about Tyvis Powell, Cam Burrows, and Von Bell. One of those guys is going to be the odd man out and maybe not get to play that much.
In the past year at Ohio State, they've had 2 safeties and a nickelback, and a lot of times the second safety wasn't on the field a lot because they played nickel so much, but now you got 2 spots, and that's what makes this position battle so intriguing. And the thing that I thought was most interesting, just going back to last week when we were in Chicago, Urban Meyer said that he was kind of disappointed or wasn't happy with maybe how little some of the guys that were really talented on the roster but young played last year. Mm-hmm. They took lack of experience as a trump card, and guys like Von Bell didn't get onto the field as much. And it was really interesting because especially when Christian Bryant went down, a guy like Von Bell might have been able to work in a little bit earlier and been more prepared to be a part of this position battle. But what you're talking about now are a bunch of really highly recruited guys that came in as potential difference makers, and now seeing them battle out for a spot to be a mainstay in the back of that defense should be interesting.
And as much as we've talked about Von Bell, Cam Burrows was a huge recruit too. So, it's not a shock that Cam Burrows is fighting to be a starter at Ohio State. But, again, among the things that we'll continue to watch this preseason, Wednesday will be a big day. The media will be allowed in to watch the entire 2-hour practice. So we'll get a feel for where guys are running with the 1s and the 2s, how they look. Ari and I will be here all preseason covering the Buckeyes. But for today, hopefully this is a one-time thing. Will not happen again. And, maybe you'll be a grown man someday, too.
Maybe not.
For Ira Wasserman, I'm Doug Lesmerises. Thanks for watching here on cleveland.com.